Hi everybody, it's Dr. 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 to fertility, and that is your gut microbiome. What is a microbiome? Well, in your gut, you've got bacteria, you've got viruses, you've got yeast, you've got other single cellular organisms that live there in this big colony, big population, very diverse, in fact, of different species that live together and contribute to our health. We are actually outnumbered by bacteria by roughly a factor of 10 to 1. So we approximately have 50 trillion cells of our own, and there are about 500 trillion cells estimated to be living in us and on us that contribute to us in a synergistic way, where we provide something for them, we provide some of the food that helps them to grow, but they provide us nourishment for our gut health, as well as chemistry and signaling to the rest of our body, really to our brain. The gut has been considered and dubbed by Scientific American and others as the second brain. There's approximately 100 million neurons that surround the gut, which means there's a lot of sensory awareness of what's happening there and a lot of signaling that goes up to the brain from the gut. So think about the gut and the brain talking to each other. And what can happen is if the gut is disrupted by any of these 5 main disruptors, such as antibiotics, chronic stress, chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalances, or a poor diet, then we can get out of balance. And what can happen is if the bacteria, certain populations, certain species of bacteria get out of balance or grow too much in relation to their other neighbors, then some of those can produce harmful chemicals or do different jobs in ways or quantities that we weren't meant to have, or we're not as healthy if they're doing that job too many times, producing that chemistry, for example. But one of the categories that can happen is if certain bacteria produce these harmful chemicals called lipopolysaccharides, and those are LPSs for short. And these LPSs, these chemicals, can contribute to something called leaky gut. So if these are the junctions between the cells, if these are 2 cells in your gut lining, and they're supposed to be with a small gap to allow particles to come in between them, and these LPS chemicals start to cause inflammation in the gut and cause an expansion or a gap to form or a permeability in the gut lining, allowing particles, either larger particles that shouldn't be getting into the bloodstream or numbers of particles getting into the bloodstream that shouldn't be there. If that starts to happen on a regular basis, clearly we're getting exposed to things in our bloodstream that we normally wouldn't be exposed to, which can be problematic and can relate to one of my previous videos on autoimmunity. But those LPS chemicals by themselves can contribute to further hormonal imbalances. They can lead to things like systemic inflammation. They can alter stress hormone production by the adrenal glands. They can alter progesterone levels. They can alter neurofeedback between the brain and other hormones. So clearly these are big disruptors. So LPS chemicals tie it back to that gut imbalance and those 5 main disruptors. In my practice, what we try to do is get to the root cause. With chiropractic care, we try to help the brain and the body communicate better through a healthy nervous system, through a healthy spinal pathway. But some of these other issues can require a little bit more fine-tuning with regard to lifestyle and other health choices and environmental changes that can influence your gut. And we use a functional medicine approach for that. So we might do some blood work, we might do some stool samples, we might do some hormonal testing and see, okay, how is your body out of balance? What can we do to restore your environment, both on the outside and on the inside, which leads to a healthier you, healthier reproductive health, and hopefully can increase your chances of fertility. If you're interested in finding out more of what we can do to help you to look at some of these root cause problems as well as their solutions, please reach out to us. We'd love to be a part of that solution.